Hello and welcome to Bikini Design Club. This is day 3 of our flounces videos. And if you still haven't seen our other 2 videos, don't forget to do it before you see this one. On this 3rd day, we are going to talk about spiral flounces. So we are going to let you know how to design the spiral, and then we are going to show you how it turns out once it's sewn on a seam. But before we do that, we really wanted to share that our 2021 patterns will have 3 flounces included, the patterns with flounces obviously. We will include a flounce with 6 centimeters high, 8 and also 10, and the flounces included will be spiral. The advantage of the spiral flounce is that it's actually much bigger than you need, so you will be able to use the spiral and then cut the excess fabric that you don't need. The other characteristic of the flounce made in spiral is the flare. The flare is much more accentuated than if you made, for instance, a half circle flounce, just like you may have seen on our previous videos. The previous patterns that we have available on our store, just like Marla or Storm, the top, also includes a flounce pattern. So you just need to print it, cut it, and sew on your swimwear, in this case Storm or Marla. But the new ones from this year onwards, for now, I think I'm really going to include spiral, so that you can then choose the height and just, it's simpler and even better. You can use the flounces that we are going to include now for every pattern in which you want to include flounces. So let's go ahead and start designing the flounce and then cutting the flounce in fabric and show you the final results. So for the spiral flounces today, we will decide that we were going to use 8 centimeter high flounce, and then we added 0.8 of seam allowance. So we are going to start with a circumference of 8.8 centimeters. So we will start by drawing a first circumference with 8.8 diameter. And we will do this and place the circumference on an horizontal line that we will do before. Just choose a point more or less in the middle and place your first circumference, the middle and the 2 sides aligned, like we will show you on the next clip. If you want, you can also start preparing the other circles. You can do the second circle, which the diameter will be the double from the first circle. Then you will multiply the third circle with the first diameter. You will multiply by 3. For the fourth, you will multiply by 4, and so on. Once you have your circles ready, and I'm saying this if you are drawing them by hand, just start alternating them left and right, always aligning on your horizontal line that you have drawn on the first recommendation. But easier making than explaining, so let's go ahead and show you exactly on a drawing how to do all this. So the first circumference we are going to draw is 8.08 as we told before, and we are going to align with this horizontal line. Then we have our second circle, or circumference in this case, and we will place it
aligned like I'm going to do here, not to the right. I'm now going to, yeah, on the left. I have to go order and send to back. This is something from my program, but for sure you will understand what I'm doing. And now let's do our third circumference, and as you know, it's 8.08 times 3, so 24.24, and align now this time on our other side. Again, send to back, that's something I have to do in my program, and we will do this so on and so forth, so it will reach the amount of flounces that we want. So I'm just going to do one more, 35.2, and also align it, and now you can already see more or less the effect of the flounce. And then you keep doing it until you have something like we have down here. And once you have this, you just need to choose your spiral and prepare yourself to do the pattern for the spiral. I'm gonna show you now very easily lighting up in yellow the lines that you need to extract from your pattern to do the actual spiral pattern.
We now have here our flounce, spiral flounce, and I'm going to cut the flounce on my fabric. In this case, the spiral is the one with 8 centimeters. Don't forget that on the spiral flounces, we do not have included here the seam allowance, so you will always spend 1 centimeter more or less than more, but on your seam allowance, so sewing the flounce to your main fabric. So don't forget when you choose the high on the spiral that you are going to lose a little bit for the seam allowance. Now that the flounce is ready, let's go and simulate how it will be on a swimsuit. So now we have the flounce applied on a swimsuit. This is just an example, but you can already see that the flare is not so accentuated like when we had a full circle with a small diameter. Now the flare is a little bit less, but that's obvious because, as we told you before in the first video and on the second video, the smaller the circumference, the more flare you get. So the result on the front, it's something like this. You may have the vertical flounces on the neckline, like so, over your shoulder, and this is just an example. This is not a swimsuit with flounces, so it was only for the purpose of showing you the result of the flounce. And then on the back, for instance, if you are crossing, you have here the look, how it looks when you do the diagonal with this flounce. I think with this we reached the end of our third video. Don't forget, if you have any questions, if you want to make any comments, if you want to suggest new videos for us to prepare for you, just type on the comments down below and let us know. And that's it for today. See you next time, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.